Today, we are ranking the most broken and popular abilities in all of anime. Powers so overpowered, they bend logic, rewrite the rules of their own verse, and make even the strongest opponents look helpless. So, we'll be drawing 10 iconic anime characters that possess some of the most broken abilities in history, and then rank them from the weakest to the strongest ability. So let's begin with one of the most feared and newest power-ups introduced, Jin-Woo's Shadow Army. Now, if you've seen Solo Leveling, you already know what this ability is all about. You see, Jin-Woo's power comes from the Shadow Monarch, granting him the ability to command and resurrect the dead as his own soldiers. Every fallen enemy becomes another shadow under his control, forever loyal, immortal, and fueled by darkness. But what makes this ability truly broken isn't just the numbers, it's the permanence. Each soldier retains their strength, memories, and abilities from when they were alive, meaning Jin-Woo's army only grows stronger with every victory. And as long as Jin-Woo is standing, there's no killing these shadows. By the end, Jin-Woo commands millions of shadow soldiers, including dragons, monsters, and even hunters, forming an unstoppable army that exists beyond life and death. Now to me, that sounds pretty broken. His generals, Beru, Igris, and Belian each hold the power on a national or even planetary scale. Oh yeah, and with Jin-Woo's ability to open dimensional gates, his army can appear anywhere at any time. When compared to other summoning or necromancy-based powers like Edo Tensei from Naruto, Jin-Woo's ability completely overshadows them. Imagine a world where Jin-Woo was able to turn characters like Goku, Saitama, and Gojo into his own shadows. He would become truly unstoppable. And the best part? These shadows don't even rebel, they don't decay, and they never tire. It's an infinite self-replenishing army that thrives along with Jin-Woo. And that is exactly what makes the Shadow Army one of the most broken abilities in all of anime. So this one is pretty obvious. We're gonna give it an S-rank tier. Next up, we've got Isagi Yoichi, and his ability isn't about brute force, divine power, or flashy transformations. It's something far different, and that is his adaptability. Now, I get it, this might not be the strongest shonen character we expect. After all, Isagi is just a football player. But when it comes to his abilities, this might as well be for a shonen character. Hear me out. Imagine someone capable of evolving and leveling up whenever he needs to. An individual with no limits. Sounds familiar? If you've watched Blue Lock, you already know that Isagi isn't born the fastest, strongest, or most technically gifted player on the field. But what makes him dangerous is that he evolves faster than everybody else. Every match, every play, every second, his brain breaks down the game in real time. You see, Isagi's true power lies in how quickly he absorbs and replicates what he experiences. He's a master manipulator, studying his opponents like a predator and then using his own team like pawns to find a way to win. Not only devouring the opponent team, but also his own teammates, making it insanely hard to stop him since he's always a step ahead. Now, what makes adaptability so broken is its scaling potential. In Blue Lock, it's limited by football rules. But if you remove that setting and put this ability in any shonen character, now that's a terrifying concept. Within hours, a character with this ability would analyze the entire power system and start countering opponents left and right. That's how absurd his ability is. It's not limited by physical strength, it's powered by knowledge. So we got to give Isagi some credit. Now, when it comes to ranking this ability, well, since this video might have some of the most overpowered abilities in all of anime, I think it's fair to give it a C rank. Up next, we have Monkey D. Luffy and his Gear 5 ability. Now this isn't just another power-up. With this ability awakening, Luffy becomes the embodiment of freedom itself, a being so unpredictable that even the laws of nature bend to his own will. You see, thanks to eating the devil fruit known as Gomu Gomu no Mi, Luffy is granted the power of the Sun God, the one who brings laughter, joy, and liberation. But don't let that title fool you. Underneath the smiles and cartoon physics lies one of the most broken abilities in anime history. Now, at first, Luffy only possessed rubber abilities that allowed him to stretch and twist his entire body, making water and blades his only weaknesses. But after evolving his devil fruit from Gear 2 to Gear 5, he becomes a different beast. In Gear 5, Luffy's imagination becomes his weapon. He can stretch, twist, and morph his body beyond all limits. But it doesn't stop there. You see, his power extends to his surroundings, turning the battlefield itself into rubber, grabbing lightning with his bare hands, and using the ground like a rope. One of the most terrifying displays of this was during his final fight against Kaido. At that point, Luffy's strength, speed, and durability surpassed anything seen before. Something so broken that even Kaido's dragon form couldn't keep up with Luffy. But what truly makes this ability tough is its concept. The Fruit's awakening gives Luffy freedom from the laws of reality. It's not just rubber powers anymore. It's the power to reimagine reality in real time. And well, an ability that literally allows you to bend reality? Yeah, I would say that's pretty broken. Which means, for the Gear 5 ability, we are going with at least an A rank tier. Next up, we've got Saitama and his One Punch, the man who broke the entire concept of power itself. While other characters reach their limits through training, transformation, or evolution, Saitama's ability is terrifyingly simple, which is unlimited strength condensed into a single punch. That's right, his punch doesn't follow rules, logic, or balance. You see, in most anime, power has a cost: energy, stamina, emotion, or even sanity. But for Saitama, there's no cost, no cooldown, and no limit. In fact, it is thanks to Saitama breaking his limiter that he's able to achieve such a strength level behind his punch, getting to a point where his serious punch isn't just strong. Take his clash with Boros for example. Boros was a galactic-level threat capable of destroying planets with a single blast. And yet, when Saitama finally got serious, his punch completely cancelled Boros' ultimate attack. The result? Well, the attack completely erased Boros' existence. The shockwave split clouds from across the planet, all from a single motion. But what makes this ability truly broken isn't just the destructive power, or the fact that it has no cost. It's the narrative weight behind it. You see, Saitama's punch isn't limited by strength scaling or energy systems like Ki, Chakra, or Cursed Energy. Instead, it scales infinitely because Saitama broke his limiter. Which means, no matter how strong his opponent becomes, Saitama simply punches harder. There's no struggle, just inevitability. I guess we can say his existence marks the very foundation of power progression in anime. So, for Saitama's punch, I think you guys know where we're going with this one. It easily belongs to the S rank tier. Next up, we have Rimuru Tempest and his Predator ability. Now, if you're not familiar, Predator is a limitless, ever-growing power that allows Rimuru to absorb any skill or ability. At first glance, it seems simple. He can consume matter and analyze it. But that's only scratching the surface, because anything that falls within Rimuru's grasp, whether it's an object, an element, or even a living being, becomes fuel for his own growth. When Rimuru uses Predator, he doesn't just devour enemies. He breaks down their energy, skills, and memories, integrating that into his own being, which means every battle becomes an upgrade. Every kill makes him stronger, smarter, and infinitely more dangerous. Think of it like this: Rimuru doesn't need to train or evolve like characters as Goku or Saitama. He just needs to consume. Dragons, demons, or gods, it doesn't matter. Because once they're within reach, analyzed, and then replicated, it becomes a part of Rimuru's arsenal. As we can see, when Rimuru absorbed the remains of Ifrit, the Flame Spirit, and gained access to his fire element and fire-related skills, effectively becoming a much stronger being with fire manipulation and flame transformation. And the craziest part is that there's no limit. Predator doesn't cap out, which means as long as there's something to consume, Rimuru's potential will never stop, which is exactly what makes his ability so broken. So, it's pretty obvious. This ability and its user are easily going for the S rank tier. Next up, we have Satoru Gojo and his Infinity Technique. Now, I'm sure we've all heard about Infinity. After all, this ability is one of the most popular ones in all of anime. And what it does? Well, this ability gives Gojo absolute control over space itself. But as some might think, Infinity isn't just a shield. It's not some external barrier that Gojo creates. At its core, Infinity is one of the abilities that allows Gojo to control the reality between himself and his opponents. What makes Infinity truly terrifying is how untouchable it makes Gojo. Even beings with immense raw power, planetary level destruction, or time manipulation can affect him if they can't reach him in the first place. As you can see with Jogo, even a special Great Curse couldn't land a single hit on Gojo. This is one of the most broken defensive abilities in all of fiction. Not because it blocks damage, but because when someone tries to strike him, they never actually make contact. Whether it's a punch, a bullet, or an atomic blast, everything that enters Gojo's personal space simply slows and stops. Because they're not touching Gojo, they're touching Infinity. And if you thought Infinity was just a defensive ability, think again. Because during his encounter with Hanami, Gojo took it a step further, manipulating his Infinity not only to block attacks, but to actively repel his enemies. He can twist space itself to push anything away from him, creating an invisible zone where even powerful curses can get close. He doesn't need to dodge and he doesn't need to block, because in his world, nothing ever truly reaches him. So, as one of the most broken abilities in anime, I think Infinity is easily deserved of the S-rank tier. Now, for our next character, we have Tomura Shigaraki, and his terrifying decay ability. What makes this ability so horrifying isn't just what it does, but what it represents. You see, decay isn't just super strength or a fire and ice power. It's the purest form of destruction, the end of all things by a single touch alone. At its core, decay disintegrates anything Shigaraki's fingers come in contact with. Flesh, bone, steel, it doesn't matter. In his early days, Shigaraki needed to touch something with all 5 fingers for this ability to trigger. But once his quirk evolved, well, let's just say this restriction vanished. During the Liberation War, this ability reached catastrophic levels. In just seconds, Shigaraki wiped down miles of land, buildings, vehicles, and even entire squads of heroes reduced to nothing but dust. At full power, he could disintegrate an entire city with a single motion. But what's most terrifying about decay is how unstoppable it is once it starts. There's no resistance, no counter to this technique. Energy barriers, reinforced steel, even regenerative abilities all fall apart against decay. In fact, even Star, a character with an ability just as broken, couldn't do anything against Shigaraki's decay, making it easily one of the most overpowered and broken abilities in all of anime. So yeah, an ability that can kill anyone that comes near with no touch or counter? This is the definition of a broken ability. So for Shigaraki's decay, we are going with an A-rank tier. Up next, we have Eren Yeager and his ability, the Founding Titan. And let me tell you, this isn't just a power boost. As we well know, this isn't your average Titan power. In fact, it's the most broken ability in the entire verse. You see, the Founding Titan grants its user the power to control every subject of Ymir, meaning every Eldian, every Titan shifter, and even the mindless Titans themselves, all of them fall under Eren's command. With a single thought, he can rewrite their memories, alter their bodies, or force them to obey his will. It's a power that essentially turns him into a god over his own race. And that control extends far beyond the present, because the Founding Titan connects its user to a metaphysical realm that exists outside of time itself. Which means, thanks to this, Eren can affect the past and the future of his own verse. As you can see when Eren brings his brother Zeke to his memories and is able to interact with his father, making his past version kill the Founding Titan family, and so stealing their power and completely altering the future events in Attack on Titan. And if you think that's the broken part, wait until you hear this, because after gaining Ymir's power, Eren combines his power with a rumbling, a literal world-ending event where hundreds of thousands of Titans roam the entire planet, turning every city and every continent into dust. This power was so devastating and broken that wiped out nearly 80% of the world's population, making Eren one of the most devastating characters in all of anime. But here's the scary part. The broken part of the Founding Titan isn't just the raw destruction capability, it's the absolute control over life itself. Eren can not only dictate who lives and who dies, but is able to see the future and alter the course of history. Even the most powerful soldiers or tactical geniuses are powerless if he decides to crush them. So I guess we can agree that this ability definitely belongs in the list. But where should we rank it? Well, no doubt this is a very powerful ability, but what if it goes against some others? I mean, we've seen Saitama destroying the moon with a simple jump, and Jinwoo's Millions of Shadows might be a tough challenge for the Titans. So I think B rank is a fair spot for this one. Next up, we have Makima and her Devil Control ability. Now this isn't just a power that makes her strong, it's an ability that makes her nearly untouchable. You see, Makima can control anyone she comes into contact with and anyone she deems inferior, forcing them to obey her commands without question. And we are not talking about simple instructions. She can make people fight, kill, or even die for her, and there's nothing they can do to resist. Which means, once she's in your mind, you're as good as dead. her power isn't just brute force. The terrifying part is the versatility and scale of her own control. She can manipulate devil hunters, powerful devils, and entire armies without ever stepping foot in the battlefield. If she wants, she can orchestrate events from the shadows, neutralizing threats before they even realize who's behind it, making her one of the most strategically broken characters in all of anime. But here's the twist. The person she controls has to exist in the right conditions, and she also needs the tactical awareness to apply it effectively. Meaning, if she tried this technique on characters like Saitama or Gojo, they most likely would resist her mental attacks. Not only because they can resist it, but because they don't see her as someone superior in the first place. But in the right hands, her control ability is essentially unbeatable. So where are we ranking it? Well, even though the ability is completely broken, if its user isn't the strongest, then some characters might be able to resist. Therefore, we are going with a B rank tier. Last but not least, we have Goku and his Ultra Instinct ability. Now this isn't just a transformation, it's an awakening. A state that separates Goku from all mortals and even from the gods who stood above him. In this form, all of Goku's traits go up exponentially. But Ultra Instinct isn't just about strength, or speed, or even energy. It's the state where the mind and body act as one, moving entirely on instinct, free from thought, hesitation, or fear. When Goku enters this form, everything changes. You see, his movements flow with insane precision, reacting to attacks not after they happen, but before the opponent even makes them. It's the perfect balance of offense and defense, where his body dodges automatically and attacks without delay, reading the battle as if time itself slows down. Against Jiren, a mortal with powers rivaling that of a god of destruction, Ultra Instinct turned the tide of a noblest battle. Jiren's overwhelming power became meaningless in an instant, because no matter how strong he was, he simply couldn't keep up with Goku anymore. But Ultra Instinct isn't limitless. You see, it demands absolute focus, and even the smallest emotional disturbance can cause it to collapse. Over time though, Goku evolved this technique beyond that limitation. What began as Ultra Instinct later developed into True Ultra Instinct, a state that embraced his Saiyan nature instead of suppressing it, which means he no longer needed to silence his emotions. Instead, he learned to channel them. What makes his ability so broken isn't just his power output or his speed. It's the concept itself. Goku doesn't dodge because he's fast. He dodges because his body refuses to be hit. He doesn't strike because he wants to. He strikes because his instinct demands it. So, without a doubt, Ultra Instinct deserves an S rank tier. And this might even be the most broken ability of them all. Now, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out this one next, where I created the ultimate anime tournament. Go on!